my name's John from the Whisky Apocalypse again. I'm going to do a whisky review today, and we're actually going to look at my favourite whisky, which is easily available. Anyone can buy this, you can get it. Sometimes supermarkets have it, but all of your decent off sales will have this or a variation of it. It is the Glenfarclas 15-year-old. Now when I buy whisky, I tend to buy whisky a different bottle every time, because my whisky collection isn't so much that I can just repeatedly buy the same bottle and have new things to try. However, this whisky is so good and is so well priced. I actually paid £40 for this because it was in a wee local shop and they're a couple of pound off, but it's normally about £45, and it's a 15-year-old whisky as well. Now my personal opinion is 15 and 18-year-olds and those in between are the best maturation levels. I think it gives a real depth within the whisky and it's really nice. My own opinion, everyone's opinion is different, but it's brilliant. The standard version of Glenfarclas are quite good for not having dozens and dozens of different whiskies. Okay, there's so many whiskies on the market now, a lot of which are non-age statement whiskies, which is a little bit marketing-y. They have a 10-year-old, which is around £30, and that's a really good whisky for beginners. It's a really light, simple whisky, but there's enough complexity in it that you can start to learn about good whisky. There's a 12-year-old, which is again, it's another step up, and there's this 18, 17, 21, and then they do a list of, I think, what they call the family list, which is a lot of aged whiskies, which are all year numbered, so 40-year-old and 30-year-old and all the rest of it, and they cost a fortune, and I will probably never taste them, but their standard range that you can buy in shops is absolutely out of this world. So on the nose for this, and as you can see, this has got a nice golden colour to it. At 15 years old, you would sort of expect this. There might be a little bit of colouring in it, but I wouldn't say so. It doesn't say on the bottle, there's very little on this bottle, even on the back, but it sometimes gives tasting notes and things like that. All it has is the spirit of independence, which is their little blurb, and it's bottled at 46%, which is always a good thing. I think all whiskies should be at 46%, certainly single malts. It's that sort of old-fashioned style of whisky. Anything 43% and up is what you should really be aiming for, but anything that's 46%, give that a go. So on the nose, you're immediately hit with sherry, and it would be because it's Glenfarclas and it's a Speyside done in majority sherry casks. Again, there's a little bit of peat, a little bit of smoke there. There's a sweetness to it though. It's a sweet and smoky, as if candy floss, that kind of smell. It's a hot, sweet. There's nuts, kind of Christmas nut selection, and with most sherry casks you've got, I think there's a little influence of rum, and you also have an element of dried fruit. There's that nice plump raisin smell that's going on there. 46%, it's quite a strong whisky, and it fills your mouth with flavour, lots of different flavours, and it does hit you quite hard. It's perhaps not one for total beginners, but it's definitely one that you should maybe give a go. So we've got the sherry, there's that little sweet, smoky smell. Again, like if candy floss was alcoholic, it would be this. There's a tiny little element of char grilled lemons. That, if you're putting on char grilled lemons on a barbecue, that kind of thing. There's a little bit of that, and again, because of the sherry influence, you've got that really nice Christmas cakey taste. Dried fruits, again, lovely. It's a complex thing. There's definitely some. It actually It doesn't say on the bottle, but just because most of the whiskies from here are from sherry casks, but they might have had some other casks as well. Single malts just means from one distillery. It doesn't mean they're all from one barrel. That's a single cask bottling. This might have had other things into it, and you could tell that there's maybe rum or maybe a bourbon something in there. A little bit of water. I actually like a little bit of water in this, I have to say. But again, it's personal preference. Start with a tiny wee amount and go. Nice, cloudy, you can see all the oils coming out, so non-chill filtered, which is what you want. Again, I mean, this, when you're talking about a nice old-fashioned whiskey, this really, really hits the spot. Again, this is exactly how I like this. A more subtle flavour, you've got a deeper sherry, sort of Manzilla and sherry, Manzilla sherry and Oloroso, I would say. Not a sherry expert, although I do drink it. Again, there's a little tiny bit of smoke there again still, and you've got that sweetened, smoky flavour, and again, big, complex sherry notes again. I mean, it's brilliant. I don't give scores on whiskies when I'm doing them, because it's all personal and it's all relative, and if you like these, then feel free to comment on them, and I'm always willing to give any advice that you want. I am not as knowledgeable as some, I'll grant you, but I know a bit, and this for me is absolutely something that you want to source out and buy. It's just brilliant. My name's John from the Whisky Apocalypse. If you like, subscribe, hit like, check out the blog at Whisky Apocalypse. I put a lot of different opinions on there about whisky and the whisky industry, and I'm always happy to chat. Thanks for your time.